Hello and welcome to reverseengineering.net using DnSpy. In this course, you will learn reverse engineering, how to decompile .NET programs, debug .NET programs, obfuscation and deobfuscation, how to patch programs, reverse jumps, create keygens, serial phishing, and more. The tools we'll be learning are DnSpy, DE for dot, Confuser 1.9, Confuser EX, and Unconfuser EX. The target students for this course are computing students who want to know how to debug .NET programs, anyone who has an interest in how to decompile a .NET program, and software developers who want to level up their skills on reverse engineering. The prerequisites for this course are some background in C# programming or VB.NET is helpful but not compulsory, and a Windows PC. My experience: I am a programmer and reverse engineering instructor with many years of experience. I hold a master's degree in computer science specializing in security and exploits development. I have also written several books and articles on hacking and writing hacking tools. I also have written several process patching programs used in reversing. Was also an industrial trainer for Linux security and penetration testing for several multinational corporations. This course is backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Go ahead and enroll now and get started immediately. Thank you and see you inside. Hello and welcome to a new section. In this new session, we are going to crack .NET Framework software. And today, I'm going to talk about Introduction to .NET Framework software, which is software created using VB.NET and C#. Here are some of the common software frameworks: C and C++, VB6 or Visual Basic 6, Visual Basic 6 P Code, and VB.NET and C#. So far we have already covered C and C++, VB6 and VB6 P Code in the previous lessons for this course. And we have seen that C and C++ will normally be compiled into native exe files, and same with VB6 as well. However, for VB6 P Code, we saw in the section on P Code that VB6 is a bit different, and Visual Basic 6 P Code requires an interpreter. And the interpreter is the extra layer of virtual machine which is needed to interpret the P code before it can be executed by the operating system. VB.NET and C# use the same concept. It needs an interpreter. Differences between native versus interpreted. On this diagram here, we will see that C, C++, and VB6, when executed, it is directly executed by the operating system. These are all exe files, also known as portable executable files. And for VB6 P code, we need to go through another extra step. That means we have the P code interpreter to interpret the P code before it can be executed by the operating system. Now for VB.NET and C# executable files, it borrows the same idea from the P code. In other words, it also needs an interpreter. And this interpreter is the Common Language Runtime, also known as CLR, interpreter. And this CLR interpreter will interpret the .NET Framework code before it is executed by the operating system. So the method of running the exe files are different for these three frameworks. In order to crack C, C++, and VB6 native exe files, we would normally disassemble it into assembly language. We have seen in this course that typically we use x64dbg. Now x64dbg is a disassembler and also a debugger. x64dbg will convert the binary code into assembly language, and that process is called disassemble. However, we have seen that for Visual Basic, both VB6 native and VB6 code can also be cracked by using the process called decompiling. So we can actually convert binary code into source code. And we have seen how we can use VB decompiler to convert native exe code as well as P code into Visual Basic source code. Decompilers convert binary code into source code. And source code is the actual human readable code which the programmer itself uses when writing the software. VB.NET and C# programs can be cracked using the process of decompiling the exe file into Visual Basic or C# source code. I will show you the process of decompiling. So thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. I will show you how to install DnSpy. So you need to go to this GitHub and then click on the release, and then here you can see the one that you want is either this or this or this. If you install 4.7.2, you need to have .NET Framework 4.7.2. If you don't have .NET Framework 4.7.2 installed, you need to get these two. And to check, you can go to here, click search, type Windows feature, and then here click on turn Windows feature on and off, and then here you can check which .NET framework you have. For me, I have 4.6. I don't have 4.7.2, so I can't install, and so I can't download and use this. I need to download this and this. So you just click on it to download, and after downloading, you unzip it. You unzip it and then you put it in the folder, one for each folder. So this is for Win32, which is x86, and then here is another one is Win64, which is for 64-bit. So if your system is 64-bit, you can use this or this, either one. That's it. And then to launch it, you just enter the folder and double click on it to run. That is all on how to install DnSpy. Thank you for watching. Hello, in this lecture we are going to download CrackMe 18. So head over to this link over here and you will see CrackMe 18. This CrackMe is written in C# and is a .NET Framework executable. This is the user interface. There's a product ID and a registration group, which contains the name input and the serial key input, and a button to check your serial key. There are 3 tasks. Patch it to always succeed no matter what name and serial key you enter. 2. Do serial phishing to extract the serial key based on the given name of your choice. 3. Create a keygen. And over here is a download link, and the password to unzip the file is crackinglessons.com. Click on the download link, cut it, and paste it into your CrackMe's folder. Thereafter, unzip the CrackMe 18, key in the password, which is crackinglessons.com. After you have unzipped the CrackMe, you will have a new folder called CrackMe 18. You may now delete the zip file. And now let us rename this folder. Put a prefix 19 dash. Now let's open the folder and double click on the CrackMe, and you will see this is what it looks like. Let's analyze it. Drag it and open it with DIE. And over here you will see the DIE has detected it as a .NET program. So this is how we know that this is a .NET program, by using DIE. So in the next lesson, I will show you how to use DnSpy to crack this program. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Hello. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to patch the CrackMe. If you take a look at the CrackMe 18 website where you downloaded it, you will see that the first objective is to patch it to always succeed no matter what name and serial key you enter. So let's do that now. Before you work on the CrackMe, it is always a good idea to make a copy. So just make a copy of it now. Then we work on the original, and we have a backup copy here. So as we saw in the previous lesson, when you analyze it with Detect It Easy, you will see what compiler is used to compile the exe. This is always the necessary step because you want to know what compiler is used to create the exe. That will decide what tool to use to crack the software. So now we can confirm it's created as a .NET executable, so we can use the correct tool to crack this exe, and it is DnSpy. In the previous lecture, I already taught you how to install DnSpy. You can create a shortcut by going to the location where you install DnSpy, and then just right click and drag it over to the desktop, and then release and click on create shortcut, and then you have a shortcut like mine over here. If you are debugging or decompiling a x64 exe, then you should use this 64-bit version. Otherwise, you should use this version for 32-bit exes. So now we are going to open it with DnSpy. Let's go back to our CrackMe. So we drag the CrackMe, we open it with DnSpy. Another way to open DnSpy is launch DnSpy first by double clicking it, and then once it's open, And you will see once you open DnSpy, you will have all these libraries ready, and DnSpy itself is open here. But we are not going to analyze any of these. These are system files. So you want to analyze, disassemble or decompile this CRAMI, you can use File, Open, and go to the folder where you have your CRAMI. Or another way is you can drag it directly into the panel, and it will open decompile the CRAMI for you. And once decompile, you can see the first screen that you normally get will be your data, your information about this CRAMI, about this exe file. And exe file for .NET are called assemblies, and that's why you see the word assembly, the version, the title, the product, copyright, as well as the .NET Framework version that it was built on. And then you can change the language type here to Visual Basic or even IL. IL is intermediate language. When you compile the .NET program, you don't get a native exe, you get a IL, intermediate language. And then over here, you can, let me put it back to C#. You can go ahead and expand on this, and you will see all the files, the subfolders within this CRAMI. And the most important one will be your program here itself, the CRAMI 18. If you expand on it, you will see the form. So when you click on the form, it will decompile it and show it to you. So this is the source code itself, the C# source code itself. You can of course change this to Visual Basic, and it will show you in the Visual Basic source code. I will go back to C# for now. So every C# program normally will have a form, and this is the form. This is where the form is created. When you click on this, this is the form, and this is the source code for this form. And then over here, there is a button, and this is what we are interested in. So every form there, you can see some of the buttons. For example here, button check click, and the handler for the button is button check click. So when a user enters name and serial key and click on check, it will run this handler for the button. So let's enter something. Maybe we enter Ali and then type here any string, any serial key, and click check, and it says the name should be at least 4 characters. So this is probably coming from here. As you can see, the decompiled version here, you can see the text check. If it's less than 4, then it will show the message in the message box, name should be at least 4 characters over here. So if you enter something longer than this and you click check, then we have a different error message. That means it is not showing this bad message, it is coming down here and showing this second error message over here. Message box show wrong serial key. So it's coming from here. So from here we can see that the correct way to patch this would be to modify this instruction over here. So we want this to be true no matter what you enter in the name and serial key field. So in order to do that, let's close this. You will modify the instruction here. One way, easy way to do it is to invert the logic. So here it will be true if the text2 is equals to the value. So if you want to invert it, you can negate it using the negation operator. You can edit this by right clicking and then go here and click edit method C#. And then once you have the edit window open, you can change the instruction here. You can put a negation operator. So when you put a negation operator, it will negate whatever in here. If it was originally false, it becomes true. Whatever true becomes false. So no matter what you type this will always be true, and therefore it will always show this good message. So even if this text2 is not equals to value, it will always be true because of the negation operator. So now we can compile this, and once it's compiled, we can save a new exe file by clicking File and then click Save Module, and then over here you can click New File Name for it by clicking on the 3 dots here, and then give a new name by putting an extension at the back, call it Patch, and then click Save. Click OK. Alright, so now if you run the patch file and you enter anything, click check, now you get correct serial key. So this is how you patch it using DnSpy. In the next lesson, we'll continue with the second objective. So thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Welcome back. If you go back to the cracking lessons, you will see the second objective is to do serial phishing to extract the serial key based on the given name of your choice. So let's do that now. I've already opened the CrackMe 18, and now we'll go and look at the CrackMe form and look at the button click event handler, and over here we want to try to extract the serial key. So if you look at the form, make sure you use this and not the patch one. If you take a look at this, whatever name you enter, probably it will be used to generate the serial key. And you see up here there's a product ID, so probably the product ID itself also will be used to create the serial key. So in order to get the serial key, we must analyze which line are we going to study. So in this case, the interesting line is here, line 17. This is where it compares text2 with the value string. So the value string is coming from here, text2 is coming from here, text serial key. So if I had to guess, I would say that this is your serial key, and then the value here is the generated serial key. So it's comparing your input with the generated value. So in order to know what is the value, we have to study this line. And you can see this line concatenates all this text from here. An easy way to extract the value that is stored here is to read the value from memory while it is running. So in order to do that, we can use this DnSpy as a debugger and then analyze the value stored here. So now to do that, we have to put a breakpoint by clicking here, and then after that we will run the program. So just put a breakpoint and then run the program. And now click OK again, and here click OK again, and now it is running. The program is running. We can close the other one. So let's enter anything. Maybe we enter a string which is longer than 4 characters. For serial key, you can leave it blank or just type any number. Now we click check, and then when you click check, it will pause at the breakpoint that you set. And below here you can analyze all the variables, and we are interested in this variable called value. So keep an eye on this variable down here, and at the moment it is null because this line has not been executed. So let us step through this line by clicking this button here, step over. So when you click step over, it will execute the line. So now you can see value has been populated with the serial key. So the serial key is all this string here. So, and it is being created by combining text3 with text4 with text 4 and text 5, and these are the value of the text. This text is here, this text 2 is here, text 2 is unused, although it's extracted, and then over here we are using text 4, this one, and then text 5 is here. So it's combining this text to create the string, the serial key. So now we can just click on this, double click on this, and then we can copy out the serial key. Right, highlight and then copy the serial key, or we can use Ctrl C and then you can paste it into Notepad. Alright, this is the serial key that we want, so we copy the serial key. Now we will stop this program and then we will now run it outside of the debugger. We go to our CrackMe and we run it, and we must enter the same name as we used earlier, Alicia, and we can paste our serial key and click check, and we successfully fish the serial key. So this is how you do serial phishing. We put a breakpoint on the important line, the correct line, and then we step through it with the debugger using DnSpy as a debugger, and then analyze the values of the variables in the panel down here. So that's all for this lesson on serial phishing using DnSpy. Thank you for watching. Hello, in this lesson I will show you how to create a keygen. So let's go back to our CrackMe with DnSpy and go back to our form and take a look at the button check click event handler. And in order to create a keygen, we are going to copy out some strings and some of the lines from here and paste it into a compiler. So we need a compiler, a C# compiler. So a good compiler which you can use is .NET You can go to this website, and the link is also provided in the resource section. And over here you can see a simple hello world program, and if you run it you will get the hello world. So you can change the message here, and you click run, and you will compile and show you the updated program. So this is how you use an online compiler. So now we shall go to our code, and then we are going to copy the interesting lines, which is actually all these lines here. We'll just cut out the unnecessary one later. We just copy everything first, and then come to here and create a new function. So we just call our function create key, open the bracket and close the bracket. And now why we call it static? So that we can call it without creating a class out of it. So over here we just tidy up, we paste our code, and then we tidy it up a little bit. Or we can just click on this, tidy up, and now we get errors because we haven't fixed missing references. So over here the string text name text is coming from your input field. If you go back here and take a look at the CrackMe, this is your text name text. So this is what the user will input. So for this, instead of getting the input from the user, we just directly key in our name. Let's say we are using Alicia as a name. And then for this text serial is not necessary because we are going to generate ourselves. So we can delete this. And then for product ID 123, it is coming from here. And you can actually check it out. If you just hover your mouse over here, you see this is label. And this label is called product ID 1. And my guess is that it is coming from this part, this label. And then if you hover your mouse here, product ID 2. So this should be the second string. Product ID 3 will probably be your third string. This should be your first, second, and third. Product ID 4 is probably unused, or product ID 2 could be this. So we are not sure which one of this. So an easier way is to use a debugger. We use a debugger, we will know for sure. Alright, so we run this program, we just close this. We use a debugger and confirm which one is being used. We just type Alicia and anything in here, and it will pause. So now we can analyze. So text 2 is coming from 545445, the one we enter. Text 3 is coming from X398, which is this, X398. So we can replace text 3 with X398. So we just copy this, Ctrl C, go back to your here and replace text 3 with here, what you have copied directly. And now we look for text 4. Text 4 is 33C3, which is actually coming from your label, but doesn't matter, we just copy from here. 33C3, double click and then Ctrl C to copy and replace all this with 33C3. And the last one is text 5. So let's go to your debugger, look for text 5 is A639. So double click on this, copy this and paste it in here, and you got it. So we can get rid of this because we are definitely entering a longer than 4 characters, so we don't need a check. And then over here is our text name. What it's doing is extracting the first 4 substring, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then converting to uppercase. So we need this, but we need to modify this a little bit. Instead of getting the text name to give you the text, we are now directly using this text. So we can change this to text. Like that. And then over here, no change. And over here, we don't need this anymore. We can just delete all this because we are going to return the string. So just return the value. So now we can call this function and it will return the value. So since we are returning a string, we have to change this void to a string. The return type is a string. Alright, and then down here, we can just replace this by calling the function directly. Calling the function create key, like that. So now if we run it, we should be able to see our serial key. There you go, your serial key. So we can copy this and then test it out. We go to our program. We are going to run this, key in Alicia, and then key in, paste your serial key, and there you go, correct serial key. Now to make sure that this is working, we can try a different name here. Let's say we now change a different name. Instead of Alicia, maybe we key in Abdullah. and then click run, and we should get a new serial key. And now we copy the serial key, right click copy, and this time the name is Abdullah, so we need to enter Abdullah as the name. So we come back here and we change this to Abdullah, and we paste Abdullah's serial key from here and check, and it works. So we have created a keygen from the online C# compiler. So this is how you create keygen. You need to know C# before you're able to do it, right? So basically C# syntax looks like this, and this is how you create strings. This is how you create a function without creating an object. You can use static. For every function that you create, just put static there and it should work. And the front here will be your return type, right? And your function doesn't receive any parameter, but it returns a string. So you need to match your return type with the whatever you're returning. So this is a string, the value is a string, so your return type must be a string. And here is how you can call your function. From the main function, you just call the user-defined function, create key, and it will return the value. Okay, so let me explain this line. This line is where you extract 4 characters from this string. So your string is Abdullah. It extracts the 4 characters A, B, D, U, and then after that it converts it to uppercase character, and that's why you see here is uppercase A, B, D, U. And then later on it takes all these strings here, including this string here, text, and concatenates them to create your serial key, and then returns a serial key. So this is how it works. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Welcome back. In today's lesson, I will show you how to install Visual Studio Community. So open your browser and search for download Visual Studio Community. And then here you will find the download link. Download Visual Studio 2019 for Windows and Mac. So just click on this link. And then over here you can see the Microsoft download page for Visual Studio 2019. Now the community edition is entirely free edition, so you can click on this to download. And now the downloading has started. Just click on keep and close this. And once it is downloaded, the installer, we just click on it, double click to open it, and click continue, and now it will go ahead and download the necessary files. Once it's finished installing, downloading the installer and install the installer, you can see something like this. So you scroll down and make sure you check on .NET Desktop Development, and all the rest you can leave it unchecked. After this, click on install while downloading. So when you click install while downloading, it will go ahead and install it and complete it for you. I have already installed mine, so I'm not able to reinstall again. So that's all for how you install the thing. So after you've finished installing, you'll be able to run the program by searching for it. Type Visual Studio, and then you find Visual Studio 2019, and you can open it. And this is what it looks like when it starts up. Alright, so from here you can continue, or you can create a new project, or you can continue with our code. So if you click create new project, it will then ask you for the type of project that you want to create, and you should always select the Windows form app over here. Alright, so in the next lesson I will show you how to create a project. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Hello, in this lesson I will show you how to create a GUI keygen using Visual Studio Community Edition and using C#. So I believe you have installed your Visual Studio. So now go and download this file from the resource section and unzip it and put it in a folder called DNet projects, and you can create this folder and unzip it and you get a project folder called GUI keygen. If you open the GUI keygen, there is a solution file which you double click to open it. So just double click and it will open it with Visual Studio 2019, or in my case I'm having Visual Studio 2017, and then just click OK. And so it should start up your Visual Studio and open the project file. And once the project file is open, you should see the GUI keygen which I have created for you. And let me just introduce you to the Visual Studio IDE. Over on the left is have your toolbox, and these are the things you can drag and put it in your form. This is your form. As you can see, I've just put a button into my form. And on the right is Solution Explorer with all the settings and properties and resources all listed down here. And then each time you create the form or any object, you will be able to inspect its properties in the properties panel here. So to change the title of the form, you just click the form, go to the properties section and look for text, and you can change the text here. So the text currently is saying GUI keygen by crackinglicense.com. And then this center part here is your picture box, which is coming from here under the common controls. You can drag this and put it in here and resize it accordingly. After you resize it to the size you want, you can set the image that you want to show, and the image is properties is over here, and you can change the image by clicking the three dots here and selecting on import, and then selecting the image that you want to show. So you should go and get an image or design one or download one from your resource, or I mean from the internet, and put it in your GUIGen key folder. And then after you have set the image, you must set the properties of the image, and over here you can set the size. You must set the size mode first to zoom. Normal would be like this, and then zoom would be like this. Zoom will fit it into your picture box. After fitting the picture box, you have to reset the size so that the size fits into the picture. Alright, you can change the size over here by playing with these values. You can change the size so that it will eventually fit nicely. And then the other thing is your icon. This icon for the form, when you click on the form, you can change the icon over here by clicking this and selecting the icon. And this icon you can download from the internet. A good website would be this website, Icon Archive, and you can search for any icon you want, and then click on the icon ICO and download the icon that you like. Then next we come to the icon for the project itself. Make sure you click on release build, and then here you click on clean GUI keygen, and then click one more time build, rebuild GUI keygen. Alright, so when you have rebuilt this GUI keygen, you can go to the build folder. The build folder is found here. Double click on this, bin, and release. and you should see your exe file ready to use. You can double click directly and it will run. And this icon, the key icon that is found here, can be set using this property. Right click on your GUI keygen project, scroll down to properties, and then look for applications, and under here look for icon, and then here click on browse, and then you can select your icon that you have downloaded from here. You can click this icon. So that's how you change the icon for the application. This is called the application icon. The application icon. Okay, then let's come back to the form. So this is the form view, and then over there you have the group box. This is a group box which I created by dragging this group container. Under container you have a group box. You can drag this into here and you will have a group outline like this, a group box, and the text of the group box is here. You can select the group box and change the text by going to the property section. Under text you can set the text here. Currently it's saying enter product ID and name, and then over here you can drag a label from here and then put it here, and then to set the text of the label you just go to the text property and change the text here. Now it's showing product ID. The same thing for the second text here as well, second label here, and also the serial key. All this can be set from here. So just go to the select the property for the respective label and change the text. And then this one, text input is coming from here, text box. So text box over here I created 1, 2, 3, 4 text boxes, and each text box that I create, I will give it a specific name. For example, this text box, I give it the name of, just scroll up to see the name property. You see the name here. Now make sure you click on this. Sometimes it may be here, sometimes it may be here. Make sure you want to see the properties, you should click on this. Yes, so you click on this, and then you can scroll to see the name property for the text box. Click on this. Alright, click on this, and then this. This one you alphabetical. This one is the properties for the alphabetical listing. And then over here, go for the name for this text box. This text box name is somewhere here. So you can change the name here. And this text box name is called text product ID 1. Alright, now this name is important because it will be used in coding later. And then for the second text box, I call it text product ID 2. Third text box, text product ID 3. Fourth text box, text product ID 4. And then for this text box, I call it text name. This is where the user inputs the name. And then for the serial key, I call it text serial key. This is where the generated serial key will be shown when you click on the button. Alright, and the final item is the button, and you can drag a button from here, and put it here. And then for the text that you want to show, you can scroll down and change the text over here. Create serial key is what is the text that is being shown currently. And you can also change other things about the button over here. And now the name of the button is btn serial key. You scroll up to name, it is btn create serial key, and this name is important because it is also being used when you write the code later. Okay, so now to create the code for the serial key, you just double click on this and you open the code view and you can see the code. So this is the form that is being created, and here is your button handler. So when you click on the button, this button, it will execute this code over here. And the first thing it does is it will call the function. called create key. And this function create key is the same as the console-based key generator which we covered in the earlier lesson. But this time I modified it a little bit. I took away the static modifier because here it is running in the class, and the class will be creating an object, so it doesn't have to be static. Alright, so now the return type is string as usual, and when it runs, you call the create key and then return the value. So the explanation is identical to the GUI, the command line based serial key generator which we covered earlier. Alright, and the only thing now that changes is over here. Over here you have to specify the object that is returning the text. So this text name here refers to here, the name of the user, and this text product ID 1 text is coming from here, text product ID 1 text x398, and this text product ID 2.text is coming from here, and this text product ID 3.text is coming from here. So the fourth is unused. So after you have got all the string from the inputs, you will then use the text, text substring 0. That means you get the user's name and you extract the first 4 characters and convert it to uppercase, and save it back to itself to overwrite the original value. And then the next line is where you create your serial key, and so the explanation is the same as before, so I won't repeat it here. And then after finishing, you return the string. The value is a type string, so you return, and so it will be saved in this text serial key dot text property. So when you assign this return value to text serial key dot text, it will be shown in here. So this text field is called text serial key, right? And you want to assign the text to it, you need to put a dot at the back. You put a dot at the back here, means that you are accessing the property, the text property. So that's how it works. So let's give it a run. So click run, and alright, I'm now running debugging in release mode. Never mind. Just go to the build and run the build version. So the build version is over here. Now if you wanted to run it here, you should change this to debug. Change the debug and then run it from inside the Visual Studio, and then you can run it in here. Alright, and then let's say if I entered Abdullah, then click generate, it will show the serial key for Abdullah, and you can even copy this out. Okay, let's try this with the actual crack me and see what happens. Okay, let's run this. So we key in Abdullah and we paste Abdullah's serial key which we generated, and it works. Alright, let's try another one. Let us now try Alicia, ALICIA, and over here create general. Now it gives you Alicia's serial key, so we copy this Alicia's serial key, come back here, change the name to Alicia, and paste the serial key over here and click check. Yep, it works. So this is how you create a keygen using Visual Studio in C#. So after you've tested with the debug, you should always set it back to release, and then build, clean, build, rebuild, and then you can head over to your build folder which I told you earlier. Over here, bin, release, and you can give this to your friends. You can distribute it and it will work. Okay, so this is how you create a GUI based keygen. Thank you for watching. Hello and welcome to a new section. In this session, we are going to deal with how to crack .NET software protection. Let me introduce you to .NET protection, also known as obfuscation. Now, it is important for .NET software to be protected because of the ease in which it can be decompiled into source code, as we have seen using DnSpy. There are several techniques to make it difficult for .NET programs to be decompiled. And here are some of the techniques that are available. First is anti-ILDSM protection. So in this technique, you are trying to prevent decompiling with ILDSM. The second technique, anti-tamper protection. And the third technique is obfuscating the constants in the software itself. And then next one will be a control flow protection, and this refers to the jumps in the program, the if-else statements and so on, and which will be obfuscated. Anti-dump protection prevents the module from being dumped into a separate file. Anti-debug protection. Invalid metadata protection is where fake metadata is injected into the program to confuse the reverser. Reference proxy protection is where API calls are redirected. Resources protection is where the resource names are being renamed. And name protection is where all the strings are being obfuscated. The process of obfuscation is done using tools known as obfuscators. A popular obfuscator that is widely used today is ConfuserX, available from this link here. And this is the user interface for ConfuserX. ConfuserX is an open source project, therefore a developer who wants to protect his .NET programs could rebuild the ConfuserX with modification. So this makes it a very powerful way to obfuscate your software. You could modify the ConfuserX because it is open source, and that makes it difficult for the reversers to deobfuscate a software which has been protected with ConfuserX. Now the process of unpacking a obfuscated .NET program is known as deobfuscation. And three of the most popular or common tools that are in use is de4dot. And de4dot is the first tool that we use when we're trying to deobfuscate an obfuscated .NET program. Another tool is unconfuserx tools, but this is a collection of toolkits comprising of about 9 tools. Now we need to use unconfuserx tools because those programs which are protected with ConfuserX cannot be unpacked with de4dot. That is why we need to use a collection of tools. We need DnSpy also. So DnSpy is used in conjunction with all the above 2 tools to unpack the .NET program that has been protected with ConfuserX. I'm going to show you how to create your own protected .NET program and then try to unpack it using these 3 tools. So that is all. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Hello, in this lesson I will show you how to install your .NET cracking tools in your virtual machine. So over here I've started my virtual machine. I'm using Microsoft Windows 10. The first thing I like to tell you as a tip is, if you find your display too small, you can go to Display Settings, right click on the desktop Display Settings, and you can change the size of your display. I've set mine to 125%. Then go to download the cracking tools from the resource section for this lecture. So this is the zip file that I prepared for you to download. After you have downloaded it, unzip it. After unzipping, there will be a new folder called .NET Cracking Tools, and now you can delete the zip file. Open the .NET Cracking Tools, and then we can install them in our correct directories. So we can copy them all and put them in our C drive. So head over to C drive and just paste them here. Now we can create shortcuts. First we'll do the .NET DnSpy. Right click, drag to the desktop, create shortcut. And then this is for 64-bit programs. If you want, you can do that too. Right click, drag to desktop, create shortcut. Next we'll do the so that is all you need to do. The rest you don't have to put shortcuts because there are quite a lot of them. We'll use it one by one. And d4 should be here. It's a command line program. So you might want to create an environment variable for d4. So to create an environment variable, select the path to d4. Over here, copy this path, go down to your Windows icon on the bottom left hand corner and search for environment variables. And then click on this, edit system environment variables. The reason why we want to create an environment variable for the d4 is so that we can run it from anywhere in our file system. Now click on environment variables here under the advanced tab, and then go down to the bottom panel, click on the path, click edit, then click new, and then paste the path that we copied earlier, and click OK. Click OK again, and OK. So now if you open the command prompt, you should be able to type. Maybe you go to, alright, maybe you make one directory called temp, and you enter the temp directory just for testing. So now you can do de4 and press enter, and it will be able to run because you have set the environment variable. Confuser 19 and Confuser X. This is Confuser, the first version of Confuser. So you right click, drag, create shortcut here. This is Confuser 1.9. Now we do for Confuser EX. So right click on this, drag it, put it here, and then create shortcut here. You can click on it to run it. This is Confuser EX. As you can see, Confuser EX. And then the second one is Confuser 1.9. It might need .NET Framework 3.5. So if you ask for .NET Framework 3.5, just click download and install this feature. So let it download and install .NET Framework 3.5. Now it is installing the software, and now it has finished installing. We close it, and now we can restart this Confuser 1.9. Just double click, and Confuser 1.9 has started. So in future lessons, I will show you how to use Confuser 1.9 and Confuser EX1. Thank you for watching. Hello and welcome to another lesson. In this lesson, I will show you how to protect your .NET software using an obfuscator known as Confuser 1.9. Confuser 1.9 is the predecessor of Confuser EX. If you were to look for Confuser EX download, you will see that Confuser EX is a free open source protector for .NET applications. It is the successor of the Confuser project. So in this lesson, we are going to first start off with the Confuser 1.9. Today, most people are using Confuser EX because it is more powerful than Confuser 1.9. But let us first study Confuser 1.9 first before we move on to Confuser EX. In the previous lessons, I already showed you where to download, and we have already installed this. The new thing is DIE, which you should download from here if you have not already downloaded, and install it. Now, the next thing we need is the CrackMe. We will be using CrackMe 18. And CrackMe 18 you can download from Cracking Lessons website. Go to Challenges and then here look for CrackMe 18. So when you double click on CrackMe 18 and enter some name in here, and enter any wrong serial key, and when you click on check, it will work as expected. And now if you were to open this with DIE, it shows you that it is a .NET framework and there is no protector. And if you open it with DnSpy, you should be able to decompile it easily, and you can expand on it and examine the source code. There's the button click event handler here, and so on. So let us now try to protect this CrackMe. I'm going to delete it from DnSpy. So to protect this software, we can use a obfuscator. So we use Confuser 1.9. So we double click on Confuser 1.9. This is the dialog box. You can see Confuser 1.9. We will now open CrackMe 18 with Confuser 1.9. Then we click on Options and we'll use a packer, compressing packer. Then click on Basic Settings, and under here select the preset maximum, meaning use all of the protection. So you enable all this: anti-ILDASM confusion, constants confusion, name confusion, anti-debug confusion, all the way down to anti-dumping, reduce metadata confusion. So confusion here is the method to obfuscate the program so that it makes it difficult to be cracked. Then we go to advanced setting, and then we select this, and then we also select maximum, and you apply all this. Then we click apply to members, then we click on confuse. So now it is started obfuscating, and you can see the log file here, the output of the process of obfuscating. Yes, so it is completed. Now if you head over to your folder for CrackMe18, you will see a new folder has been created. Inside it is your confused, or rather obfuscated, CrackMe18. Double click and see to make sure it can still run, and it still works. Just enter a name and some wrong serial key, click on check, and you still get your error message. Now let us try to open it with DIE. And this time DIE will show the protector Confuser 1.9. So this is the usefulness of DIE. It can tell you which protector is used to protect the software. Now if you open this with DnSpy, DnSpy will decompile it, and let us now expand and see the content. And you see there's a lot of gibberish. We are now not able to read the code because it has been obfuscated. Let us go to the entry point. And the entry point is also obfuscated. So it is almost impossible for us to read all this text and understand what is going on. So this is the process of software protection for .NET Framework programs. Thank you for watching. Hello, in this lesson I will show you how to de-obfuscate the CrackMe18 and then go ahead and crack it by patching. So first we analyze CrackMe18 with DIE by opening with DIE. This is always the first step. We want to know what is the protector. And now we see that the protector is Confuser 1.9. Next, we just want to see what it looks like in DnSpy. We expand the drop down arrow and we analyze. You can see that it is obfuscated. Let's remove this. Now we try to run it to make sure it works. It works. Now we shall try to deobfuscate it. So we make a copy first, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Then we work on this. And we are going to use the DE4 tool. The DE4 has been installed in the previous lesson. We are using this version, .NET 4.5 version, DE4. And we also added the environment variable for this part so that we can run this program from anywhere in the file system. Alright, let's get started. So we copy this path, select it and copy. Then we open a command prompt by searching for it. And then opening it. Then we go to this folder by typing cd and right click to paste the path we copied. So we're going to change to this directory, press enter, and let's clear the screen. Now we type dir to see the contents. And this is the obfuscated CrackMe18. Let's clear the screen. So to use DE4, we type DE4 followed by CrackMe18. Just type CR, press the tab key for auto completion. Now you're ready to execute DE4 to deobfuscate. So let's press enter. And it has detected Confuser 1.9. Doing the cleaning, renaming all obfuscated symbols, and saving the output to a new file called CrackMe18 clean. So we have a new file which has been deobfuscated. First, let us first run it to see if it still works by double clicking. Enter a name, enter any key, click check, and it works. Now let us decompile it with DnSpy. Before that, let us analyze it with DIE. And we see the protector is gone. Now we decompile it with DnSpy. And we can see it has been deobfuscated. We can see names clearly and we can read the strings. And we can even see our button handler. So the deobfuscation has worked. Now let us try to crack this program. When this program is run, after entering a name and any serial key, we will click the check button, and the check button will call the button handler, and then if the serial key is wrong, it will show a bad message, wrong serial key, with the title, the caption is error. So this is coming from here, wrong serial key. In the previous lesson, I taught you that one of the ways to patch it is to reverse the logic here by putting a not operator. And how we did that was to right click this line and then edit the method. And then here we just entered the negation operator and then click compile. Now I'm going to show you a different way. We can right click on this and then select edit IL instructions, and we can look for the part where the error message is going to be shown. Which is down here. So BR false is a IL instruction analogous to P code in Visual Basic 6 P code. In .NET IL language, it is BR false, so we want to reverse this. If BR is false, then it is going to load the string wrong serial key and jump down here to show this message. That means from here, it will go down here. So in order to invert this, we can change BR false to BR true.s. If this is BR false.s, to invert it, we use BR true.s. If this is BR false without the s, then to invert it, we use BR true. So in this case, we are going to invert it to BR true.s, like this. So now we are reversing the jump, and then we click OK, and now we can exit this program. One way to exit the program, in order to force it to patch, right click is, and then remove crackme 18. So when you click remove crackme 18, it warns you that the file hasn't been saved. Do you want to save it? Say yes. Another way is we can file save module, and then we can give it a new name, or you can override it. So these are the two ways. Now I'll show you the other way. Right click this, and then here remove crackme, and it says the file has been saved. Do you want to save it? Say yes. And you can overwrite this original file by clicking OK. Yes, so it's overridden the original file and remove it from here. Now we can close this and we can test. Just key in any name, any serial key, click on check, and you have successfully patched it. Now it is showing a good message. So this is how you deobfuscate a Confuser 1.9 protected file, and also how you crack it using patching. That's all for this lesson. Thank you for watching. Hello, in this lesson I will show you how to download and install Confuser X, and then to use Confuser X to protect our crackme 18. So this is the website where you can download Confuser X. I will provide this link in the file for you to download for the resource section for this lesson. So come to this website and then scroll down, look for the download link, and he says here downloads, so you can click on this GitHub project page, and now here is your download links from the GitHub. So you can click the first link here, is the latest version. Just click on it to download. After you have downloaded it, you can unzip it and you should see a new folder called Confuser X bin for binary, and if you open it, you will see all your files here, and the one which you want to use is this exe file, confuser.exe. After you unzip it, you can delete the zip file. Then you just cut this and then paste it in your C drive over here. Right click and paste. I've already pasted, and after pasting you should be able to see a new folder here, confuser.x bin. Now we create a shortcut to our desktop. So we open the folder and then right click on this exe file, drag, put it here, and select create shortcut. So as you can see, I've already got my shortcut here. Maybe I put it on top now. Now we are going to use confuser.x, so double click on it, and we are going to use it to protect our CrackMe18. So this is the CrackMe18 that we want to protect. Earlier on we made a copy already, so we are going to use this. So you can just drag this in here, and you see now the base directory is this and the output directory is this. So after we've already obfuscate it or protect it, there will be a new file created and put in this folder, confused. So now let's go for the settings. So click on settings, and then here you can select use the packer, compressing packer, to compress the file to make it smaller and also difficult to crack. And then under here, go for the CrackMe18exe, and then just click on the plus here to set rules to true. After that, you can edit these rules by clicking on this. And then over here, there are certain presets which you can select: minimum, normal, aggressive, or maximum. Maximum means it will put all the protection for you. If you want to customize, you can also customize by doing this. Just click add, and then here you can choose what protection you want. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different protection. So if you don't want to manually, if you want to customize, you can select like this individually. Now if you don't want to select individually, the easiest way is to just select maximum. So you don't have to do it one by one like this. Okay, so what I will normally do is just select the rules through, click on this, and then for all of this you don't need to individually select one by one. Most of the time you just want to just use the presets. So you can just go to the preset here and then select maximum. So when you choose maximum, it will apply all the maximum possible protection. Then click done. There's one more thing I forgot to check. So click on inherit protections and then click done. So after you have done that, you can go to the next step and then click on protect. And you can see it is done. This is the log of the protection. If there are any errors, you can see the errors here. Alright, so it's done. Okay, now you might want to keep a copy of the log. So it's a good idea to copy this out. Just select everything, right click, copy, and then here you will see a new folder called confused. Inside it is the obfuscated exe. So in here you can create a new file. This is the log which are copied from here. Open it and paste the log. This is only for reference. Later on, if you need to refer to how the protection was done, you can refer back to this log. So that is how we download and install your Confuser X, and how we use Confuser X to obfuscate or protect your exe file. That's all for this lesson. Thank you for watching. Hello, in this lesson, I will show you how to deobfuscate a file that has been protected with Confuser EX1. So firstly, let us make sure we have the tools. We will be using these tools, DnSpy and Confuser EX tools, which we installed earlier in a previous lesson. We also need to use D4. If your computer does not have .NET Framework 4.7, then you can use this version or this version. If your computer has .NET Framework 4.7 or above, then you can use this version of DnSpy. The CrackMe that has been protected is known as CrackMe 18 in this folder. In the previous lesson, I have shown you how to obfuscate this CrackMe. So the first step is always to check with DIE. And the protector is listed here as Confuser. And then we can open this with DnSpy. And we can see that, and you can go to the cctl, module cctl, and you see this. The steps for unpacking is described in this file, which is included in the resource section for you to download. And these steps apply only for those software which has been protected using the standard version of Confuser EX. If the software was protected with a customized version of Confuser EX, then the steps here might not apply. If that is the case, then you might need to spend a considerable amount of time and effort to research and to write your own unpacker. So let's get started. The first thing on the list is, the first step is to set a breakpoint on GC handler, have GC handler free, and then dump coil exe. So we look for GC handler. We are now at the module for cctl. If you want to go to cctl, you right click on CrackMe 18, go to module cctl. cctl is a module which does the unpacking. So now we want to put a breakpoint on this function gchandler.free. So we search for it by pressing Ctrl F. And then here we type in .free. And we find the GC handler here. Click one time to set the breakpoint and then run. Click OK. It has paused at our breakpoint. Go down and look for modules. Click on the modules tab. If your modules tab is not showing, you can view it by clicking debug, go to Windows, and then click Modules. There is a exe called COI. COI is the first stage of unpacking. Just before GC handle free is called, the program itself has unpacked part of the assembly and the memory as COI. That's why we put a breakpoint here. Now we want to dump this into a separate file. Right click, save module, and then go to your folder on the desktop, grab 19, create a new folder and call it unpacking. You can call the file COI.exe the default name. So it is done. Now you can remove this, right click and remove. Let me remove all the previous assembly and stop the debugger. Second step is to set breakpoint on cctor second module and then dump COI again. So now we reopen the newly dumped file, which is COI. We are now going to dump the second stage. So open this, go to the cctor second module, right click, go to cctor, module cctor, and then there's a second module here. Put a breakpoint here. So we don't want this to execute. We want to execute only the first module. The first module will unpack COI further. So after unpacking, we want to dump. So let's run it. Click OK. So it has run the first module, but it has not run the second module. Now we go down here and dump COI. Right click, save module, and we give it another name called COI1. Then we can remove this. Stop it first, stop the debugger and then remove it. Now we go to step 3. We're going to no-op function. So let's go back to the second dump file, reload it inside. Same way, we right click and we go to cctor again, and now we want to no-op this module. So right click on this static module, we don't want to run, so edit IL instruction, and we no-op the first module. No-op. Okay. First module is no-op already. So click OK. So this first module will not run. Now you run the second module and third and so on. So now we are going to dump this file. We can do it two ways, either file save module, or we can just remove it directly. Right click, remove correct me. The file hasn't been saved. Do you want to save it? Say yes. And then you can give a new name, maybe COI2, or you can overwrite the existing file. So I'll just give a new name, COI2. Click OK. So now if you go and see your folder, you see COI2. So we have 3 stages of unpacking now. We are now at stage 3. We are now going to step 4. At this stage, we can close our DnSpy and use another different tool. So this different tool comes from the unconfusex tools. So go to C drive, unconfusex tools. Open the confuser constant decryptor, which is over here. Double click, and then open COI2 and decrypt it. So 36 constants decrypted. Now you can exit. You see the new file is created. It has decrypted the constants. Next is you want to fix the assembly call fixer. So open this program, Confuser X call fixer. And now we take the newly dumped file, open it, and patch the call. And 77 patches made, and a new file is dumped. So get this new file. Now we're going to open the step 6, use the Xdupe port patcher, which is over here. We take the latest dump file and open it, and then patch it. 131 patches made, and a new file has been dumped. So you can see we are going through many stages, many levels of unpacking, because the original CrackMe was using maximum protection. Next, we want to call this program Confuser Fixer, which is here. And then we open the latest patch file. Then click on Fix, and now it has fixed it. Remove invalid stream, remove multiple definition, and remove the map. And then it has dumped a new file here for you. So now let's click Exit. Step 8 here, Confuser Switch Killer, which is this file. So run it, and open the latest dump file, and click deobfuscate, and file is deobfuscated. 544 replacement made, and it has dumped a new file. Now the next step is step 9. Step 9, we use a tool called Confuser X Method Decryptor, and this is found in this folder, Confuser X Unpack folder, which is this folder here. So we open this, we take the latest dump file, open it, and decrypt. And you see, it has dumped another new file. Next, we want to open the file with DA4.dot. So at this stage, we don't need all the other files, we only need this one. So we can rename this. Rename this to CrackMe 18. So we can open CrackMe 18 with DA4.dot. DA4.dot is a command line tool, so we need to open it from the command line. So we select this, right click to get the path, and then open a command line, click search for CMD. Now we are going to move to this location. We type CD, right click to paste this location which you copied, press enter. Now you're in this location, just type dir to check, make sure that the file is there, CrackMe 18. So we want to call DE4.dot on CrackMe 18. So we type DE4.dot followed by the name CrackMe 18. You can press CRA, press the tab key, and it will autocomplete. Now DE4.dot already has got the environment variable set. That is why you're able to run it from anywhere in your file system. So now you press enter, and DE4.dot will clean the file. So DE4.dot has detected an unknown obfuscator, cleaning, renaming, and saving to a new file. So now you have a new file called CrackMe 18 clean over here. Now you can close DE4.dot. Now you're at step 10, let's go to step 11. Step 11 is where you have to fix the entry point. If you run this now, it won't work because there is no entry point. So we have to fix the entry point by opening with DnSpy. So to fix entry point, let me show you the entry point. The entry point is where the program starts, and it is in class 5, method 0. You can see. And this is a standard signature for C# programs. You always have a static main method which will start the new form. The form is your main window which shows when the program runs. So this is a correct entry point. So we want to set that in the module. So you right click Koi, go to the edit module menu item, under manage, click on manage, and then here navigate to the class 5, method 0, click OK. Click OK again. Do not close this yet. After you have done 11, you must know up the static module so that it will not perform any more deobfuscation on the assembly. So now we have to go to CTOR again, one more time, right click, go to module CTOR, and we don't want CTOR to run any of this module anymore because the file has already been deobfuscated. So we can know up all of this. So right click, edit your instructions, and we know up all the 4. Right click, know up, right click, know up, right click, know up, right click, know up. So once we've already know up, we click OK, and now we can dump the file. Okay, to dump the file, we right click this, remove readme 18. He asks you to confirm, file has not been saved, do you want to save it? Click yes. And then we can override it. We can override the file, click OK. Okay then, so now let's try, see if there's any error. Double click to see if it can open. Alright, it cannot open. So the test fails. If it fails to start, we should debug it with DnSpy to see what's wrong. Okay, so now we're going to reopen this newly dumped file with DnSpy and see how to fix it. Reopen this newly dumped file, and now we try to run it and see the error that it gives. Click OK, and you see the error. An unhandled exception occurred. Exception is missing manifest resource. So that is the error that you might get, missing manifest resource exception. So if you get this error, you should go to step 13. The message reads, could not find any resource appropriate for the culture or neutral culture. Make sure form 1 resource was correctly embedded. So it says, right? So the error message, you will say, make sure form 1 resource is correctly embedded. So this is the error message you might get. So let's do step 13 to solve this problem. So the problem arises because this resource is not found, form 1. So the simple way to fix it is just rename the resource to what it wants. Why is it not found? It is not found because it has been obfuscated. Go to resource, and then here, resource, the form 1 resource is obfuscated. So all we need to do is rename this to form 1. Same as the error message. Form 1 is, make sure form 1 resource is correctly embedded. So after rename this to form 1, it should be okay. So right click this, and then select edit resource, and just rename the front part, the gibberish part, to form 1. Dump resource. Click OK. It's done. And now we can dump this file again. Right click, remove readme. Do you want to save? Yes. And overwrite the same file. Overwrite this same file. Click OK. Alright, so we cannot overwrite, we give it a new name. Right click, remove crack me. You want to save it? Yes. So we give it a new name. We can go here and call it clean2. Click save. Click OK. Alright, so now we can open clean2, which is this file. Double click and it works. Alright, let's enter something. Check. Wrong serial key. So it works. Now we open it with DnSpy. Alright, so now we open DnSpy. Go to class 5. New form. And the form is here. Button check click is here. Right? And if you want to crack this by patching it, just go ahead and do it. I already showed you how to do it a few times in the previous lessons. So that's all for this lesson. How to unpack a .NET program that has been obfuscated with Confuser EX. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Dear students, congratulations on completing the course. But that is not the end of the road. If you have enjoyed my courses and would like to further your studies, then I have something that might interest you. Software Ethical Hacking. How to crack software legally. A fun way to learn how to crack software. This is a complete course on cracking software for absolute beginners. What you will learn: how to crack software serial number keys, do serial phishing, remove next screen reminders asking you to register, convert trial software to fully functional software, extend 30-day trial period, learn reverse engineering and assembly language, how to crack software for fun by solving crack me challenges, bypass software protection, and more. Please go to my website for more details, crackinglessons.com. So please click on this link here and you will come to my website over here. Just scroll down and click on the button check out this course in order to find out more about this course. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you again in my future courses.